name is Ahmad, and today I have the pleasure of representing Team 7 as I present our new product, the Screen Plane. Team 7 created a mission statement in order to outline both our vision and our goal for our product as a whole. Our product description is that our device would allow anyone to put a cellular device into it such that it will remove any smudges and any residue on it. Our key business goals is that as the end of the semester, we would be able to release our device into the market, and then as of the end of spring 2019, we would break even. Our primary market is individuals, primarily college students, who are tech savvy and use, in particular, a cellular device. The assumption is that over time, we would continue to use touchscreen devices. Lastly, our stakeholders are the team, our customers, and investors. An ideal customer, which can be seen in this image, is a person who's outdoors, as can be seen by these, like the bike and the soccer ball, and someone who's tech savvy, and someone who's in education. This person would need to use a device like ours whenever he does any of his activities that involve going outside, because at the end of the day, he can put in his device into our product and it will bring it out clean and remove all smudges and dirt. A use case is a detailed explanation of how an individual can use our product. The basic flow is that every night a student or an individual will put their phone into our device in the efforts of cleaning it off. The goal is that when it comes out of the device, it removes any smudges or any dirt or residue that came about during the day. An alternative flow, we have two, and one of them is that if a customer has a phone case on, he can remove his phone case and then put his device directly into our product. From a series of interviews conducted during the DP1 stage, we were able to create customer needs. In this table, we have our 5 customer needs, and we've given it ranks from 1 to 5, with 5 being really important. As you can see in this image, product cleaning screen without causing damage was one of the most important things that came up in our interviews. We created a black box in order to decompose complex tasks into simpler sub-functions. A black box consists of both inputs and outputs. On the input side, you have energy, signals, and material. On this side, we have energy, but the material we're using would be the phone. We'd put the phone into our device and then it would output as a clean phone. The user input in our case would be a signal that would tell our device to turn on. From this activity, we were able to create sub-functions. The 5 sub-functions that we created were receive energy, receive user input, hold phone, clean phone, and lastly, eject phone. An activity we did in class was create a mind map. The mind map helped us organize and clearly think of how exactly we wanted to approach some of the sub-functions. We start off in the center with our screen, with our product, the Screen Plane, and then we move, and arrows pointing away from the box are the various sub-functions identified in the previous task. We gave it color codes in order for it to come off as very appealing to people looking at our slides. We also did the 3-2-1 method in class, an in-class activity that is similar to the 6-3-5 activity, which in our case was 3 group members, 2 concepts, and 1 minute. So within the first minute, an individual in the group would come up with 2 ideas about how they wanted to approach either the project as a whole or just an individual sub-function. Then we would rotate. Another team member would critique my design and give me feedback and analysis while I'll do the same. Lastly, we did this one more time such that everyone in the group would have the opportunity to see everyone's design. In this image, you can see 3 different images of various concepts that came up during our design, during this activity. Okay, from both the box, the black box, the mind map, and the 3-2-1 method, we were able to create a concept generation table. On this side, you can see the subfunctions, and then on this side, we have all of our solutions. So for the subfunction receive energy, we came up with two potential solutions, the battery and the outlet. This was done for the other four subfunctions too. From this concept generation table, we had another in-class activity called the gallery method. In this, we created a poster using information from the previous activities. On this image, we have in the center our concept generation table, and around it we have each of our 5 sub-functions. Below each sub-function, we have a drawing of each of the solutions. On this slide, we have an image of the 6 solutions we came up with. Each individual team member was tasked to create 2 individual solutions. Each solution had to be unique in the sense that it had to choose between one solution per subfunction. In this case, if you look at number 4, the skate ramp, I remember working on this product, and I came up with using a battery as my energy source, a button in order for the signal, and a high friction material such that it would not fall off. We did the concept screening process in order to weed out bad ideas. To initially start off, we had to choose a base model. The base model, in our case, we chose was the original. In this cell, you can see all of its values are 0, leading up to the sum section. On this side, we have all of our specifications, all of our customer needs. And so from that, we compared each of our designs to the original and ranked it to see how well it did. So if a cell had a plus sign in, it means that it did better than the original in this specific category. However, if a cell had a minus sign, it meant that it did poorly relative to the base model, which was the original. If a cell had a 0 in it, it means that it was on the same level as the original. From that, we tabulated the results, and we saw that the toaster original and copy machine should be designs that we should continue to work with, compared to the disk drive, the skate ramp, and the car wash. Lastly, we did concept scoring in order to go in-depth, to provide a more in-depth analysis on which design we should focus our time and effort on. On this side, again, we have all of our customer needs, and then what we didn't do in the other process, the concept screening task, we do in here. So we gave each of them weights. So the product cleans screen without damaging the phone was given a 5 ranking of importance on our customer needs table in a previous slide, and so we gave it a higher weight relative to the other ones. We gave it a weight of 0.25. So from this, we rated how each design did to each category. So in this section, you can see that the toaster's ranking for the customer need, the product's design language is sleek and attractive, is a 4. From that, we multiplied the weight by the rating, and we got a weight. We summed this cell up, and we got a total. From that, we compared each of the 3 totals, and you can see that the original, which has a score of 3.75, was the greatest out of all of them. And ranking was the greatest out of all of them. From that test, we decided to now pursue our time and effort on the original design. And this image is a sketch of what the original would look like. In the next couple of tasks, we're going to begin prototyping, creating a working prototype, and by the end of the semester, hopefully have a design that is working. All in all, we started with customer needs, and from customer needs, we thought of functions. From functions, we used the mind map and the 3-2-1 method to create potential solutions to these functions. From that, we all came together and created 6 solutions such that we could narrow them down in the future. Using the Using the gallery method activity and the concept screening scoring, we were able to narrow down our design to the original. As said in the other slide, we're going to now begin prototyping the original and working with that.